Analysis at townhall.com.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting outside, getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pains, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your life. Head over to relieffactor.com or give them a call at 800-4RELIEF and get their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. Relief Factor is the daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by a team of doctors, it uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask the pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take Relief Factor, the more effective it is to get your days going without any pain. Sleep can get you out of pain by taking their 3-week quick start. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Simply call 800-4RELIEF. 800, the number 4RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, neck, shoulders, hips, knees, don't let it keep you from living the life you want to live. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800, the number 4RELIEF.
Russia's top diplomat announcing Friday that Vladimir Putin won't meet with Vladimir Zelensky until the Ukrainians agree to some of Moscow's long-standing demands to end the conflict, a setback to efforts to diplomatically negotiate the peace settlement, after a week in which the president had face-to-face meetings with leaders on both sides to seek common ground. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton says Vladimir Putin has only invaded Ukraine when Democrats were in the White House.
In part because Democratic presidents like Barack Obama and Joe Biden had tempted him to pursue what he had always wanted to do. Even Vladimir Putin said last week that this war wouldn't have happened if President Trump had been in office, as it didn't happen in his first term in office.
Senator Cotton spoke this week with the Salem Radio Network. Maria Sharapova has entered the International Tennis Hall of Fame, with Serena Williams introducing her at the ceremony last night. She's the first Russian woman to reach number 1 in the rankings and was inducted last night. More at townhall.com. Economist Steve Moore says government agencies have a credibility problem.
The numbers that are coming out from government just are not very reliable now. There's a study that just came out that showed that 2 out of 3 of Americans do not believe the numbers that government gives us, whether it's the census numbers, whether it's the inflation numbers, the jobs numbers, and it's a big problem.
Economist Steve Moore says the Trump administration government reports have become less reliable.
The numbers that have been coming out recently are completely unreliable. They're all over the map. I don't know if they were intentionally distorted. That's for other people to decide, but you can't trust the numbers anymore.
Economist Steve Moore, who is a former Trump economic advisor, tells the Salem Radio Network his former boss is trying to fix the problem as soon as possible. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor reporting.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVDF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Yellow Mike.
Yellow Mike. Yellow Mike.
Hey, Joey, what's happening? What's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBS. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. Today is Sunday, the 24th. There we go. Sunday, the 24th of August, 2024.
25.
24, 25, 26? What year is it? 25. There we go.
2025.
All right. It's August.
I can imagine what this place looked like 100 years ago. Just imagine what, in 1925.
Yeah.
This building probably wasn't here.
This building probably
I
wasn't here in
bet where we're sitting was probably maybe a farm. I mean, there was. I know we're close to the center of town, but I'm sure where we're sitting there was probably a cornfield or something, some sort of field or forest. It's just
Yeah.
I mean, even in my lifetime, seeing how things change. I mean,
Definitely.
neighborhood to neighborhood.
Definitely.
is pretty good. If you have a time book, you know, you need to drive down Main Street so your time warp thing would work. So you can go back to, you know, so when I get in my time machine later after the show, I go right down, well, you just go right down Main Street and hopefully you won't hit a building when you go through your time warp, you know, thing there, you know, thing of
yes.
you know, the fog.
Absolutely.
The only way I can picture a time warp is a movie called The Final Countdown there, you know that song? No, not the song, the movie with,
No, I know the song.
no, it's it was a movie. What was it? It was a really good movie. It was a aircraft carrier goes back into time to December 7th, 1941. The Nimitz. I think it was The Final Countdown, and Kurt Douglas was the captain, and Martin Sheen was in the movie. It was a great movie. It was a good sci-fi movie. They go back and what do they do? Do they change history? You know, can they change history? What happen if they go back? If they change history, will there be a history? It's funny because I'm always a science fiction guy, and I was wondering how that would work. It probably wouldn't work. Probably can't do it.
Alright, our weather today, 63 degrees currently in Taunton, high of 79, low of 59. This is a nice day today. We have wind gusts up to 13 miles per hour today, and cloudy at times, but you'll see the sun a little bit today. Wait a second, there we go. Cloudy today, again, high of 79, low of 59. Tomorrow, rain in the forecast, high of 81, low of 67, and then clearing up on Tuesday, high of 77, low of 60. In Newport Richey, Florida, thunderstorms expected this morning, wind gusts up to 15 miles per hour, rain today, high of 86, low of 76, rain Monday and rain on Tuesday, highs of 89 and 87. Wednesday, also a high of 89, so still pretty warm in Florida there. In Middleboro, 64 degrees, high of 79, low of 61. Windy today, wind gusts up to 14 miles per hour, but cloudy and some sun expected today. Tomorrow, high of 80, low of 67 in Middleboro with a chance of rain. In Driscoll, Texas, 77 degrees, high of 91 today. Wind gusts up to 7 miles per hour, so a little bit windy there as well, which should help with the temperatures. You know, it's 90 degrees in late August anywhere is not that fun. But it should definitely cool things down a little bit, that wind. Tomorrow, 35% chance of rain, high of 90, low of 77. And then Driscoll, North Dakota, it is going to be 68 today, currently 46 degrees, low of 46 today. And windy a little bit, wind gusts up to 13 miles per hour, but no rain in the forecast. No rain in the forecast pretty much all week in Driscoll, North Dakota. It's pretty nice weather. It's a pretty nice late August weather. Not too hot, not too cold. Just right in Driscoll, North Dakota. So that is your weather today. Let's go over our today in histories for August 24th. August 24th, 4:10 dawn. August 24th. They nailed down a exact time for this one. This is very interesting. August 24th, 410. The Visigoths under King Alaric I begin to pillage Rome. And that leads to the sack of Rome in 1410, and that leads to pretty much the end of that empire there, and then it kind of breaks away, and you get the I think it was called the Byzantine Empire for hundreds of years as well. 1814, British troops capture Washington, D.C. and set the presidential mansion, Capitol, Navy Yard, and many other public buildings on fire.
The White House, too.
The White House as well, yes. August 24th, 1814.
There's a tidbit about Dolly Madison. She stayed back to saved a lot of the portraits of
Yes.
the founding fathers, George Washington, and gave her a lot of courage, because if she didn't do that, we probably wouldn't have those pictures, in our history right now. So it goes to show that, the British were still, even though they lost the war, they probably didn't want to deal with fighting. They didn't want to do a prolonged war. That's probably what, but they still, were forced to reckon they could just march in. But the capital was new at that time, D.C., because it was in New York and then in Philadelphia, and I don't think those cities would have fell in 1814. But it wasn't. Washington was just a swamp.
Yeah.
And it was a planned federal city, and the whole idea was it was right in the middle of the country. That's why it's located where it's located.
All right, August 24th, 1949, NATO is born. The treaty creating NATO is in effect. August 24th, 1949. August 24th, 1950, Edith Sampson becomes the first black U.S. delegate to the United Nations. August 24th, 1967, this is an interesting one. Led by Abby Hoffman, the Youth International Party temporarily disrupts trading at the New York Stock Exchange by throwing dollar bills from the viewing gallery, causing trading to cease as brokers scramble to grab them. That's an interesting one, Don. 1981, August 24th, 1981, Mark David Chapman is sentenced to 20 years to life in prison for murdering John Lennon. 1992, Hurricane Andrew makes landfall in Homestead, Florida as a Category 5, causing up to $25 billion in damage. That was another big hurricane in late August as well. And this happened in 1992.
That was a tough one. 92 was a tough year between the riots in Los Angeles and the hurricane. It was rough around there. 92 was tough for the country.
Our birthdays. 1556, Sophia Brahe, Danish horticulturist and astronomer. 1944, Rocky Johnson, Canadian-American wrestler and trainer, the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The Rock, and big WWE guy.
Everyone's gonna love The Rock. I mean, it's just,
The Rock is great.
Yeah, he's great. He's just got a good personality. He's just, in the movies, he's been in the movies, Fast and the Furious movies a couple times. I mean, they got so many of them now.
Yes.
But I think he played in one or two of them, and he's always the cop. And I mean, that's great. I mean, it's good because roles are roles for people. And it's funny, and I don't want to get off track here, but I was never a big Robin Williams fan.
Yeah.
Until I saw Good Will Hunting, and then I was floored.
Yeah.
That movie was like one of the best drama movies I've ever seen in my life. I mean, everyone in the movie, from Robin Williams' character to his friend, the professor, he was good. And then Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were good. And even Casey Affleck was in it. And also, too, you know who the fourth person was of the group there?
No.
Rip Wheeler.
Oh, okay.
What's his name?
Rip Wheeler?
Yeah, from Yellowstone.
And he's in Yellowstone.
Cole Hansen, whatever.
Yeah.
He was the other. He was the other one. He was the other punks. You know how the four of them used to drive around.
Yeah.
So, but that movie was really good, and also too, if any Star Wars fans in, I'm pretty sure that the guy who played the professor went on to be an Endor in Star Wars. I think that is him. Maybe I'm not. I'm not looking. I'm not cheating. I'm going by memory here, but I could be wrong too. I don't know. I'm sure someone will tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the same actor.
Born on this day in 1945, Ken Hensley, English rock singer, songwriter, and musician. He worked with Clint Hughes. There was something a couple of years ago. I think it was just before he passed. And there was something with Glenn Hughes.
That was Uriah Heep's lead singer?
Yes, Uriah Heep's lead singer,
Okay, yeah.
Ken Hensley. Yes. 1945, turning 80 today. Vince McMahon, American wrestler, promoter, and entrepreneur. He co-founded WWE, made it into the massive wrestling giant that it is today.
It's a juggernaut. It's huge.
It's huge.
Huge.
Yes, it is.
You know, Linda McMahon has a lot to do with that.
And Linda McMahon. Yeah, Linda McMahon has a lot to do with it.
I mean, you know, I think she's behind the scenes. Both of them did really well. So, I mean, how do you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then the people he hired as well.
There's always
Yeah.
drama and innuendos and stuff like that, but you get that with everything.
Of course.
But, you know, the gist of things, think of all the people that they employ.
Mhm.
Not just the wrestlers, but all the vendors, you know, anybody who moves the shows. They're paying money to these arenas. They're renting out arenas. That means they're bringing people to the city. People are spending money in the city. The restaurants are doing. So you got to look at something like that, and it makes people happy. So you got a group of people. It's just like the pizza place across the street from the Garden. That place is packed. And
Yeah.
it's good.
Yes.
It's always good. So it's just like, it just goes to show.
Yeah.
You love seeing people who are smart bringing money in, and you can't knock that at all.
WWE was recently in Boston at TD Garden. They're going to be back in Massachusetts in Springfield in a couple of weeks. And then they'll be back in Boston again in December for John Cena's retirement match. John Cena was originally born in West Newbury, Massachusetts.
Right.
So, what better place to have his retirement match than, of course, his home state? So, that's what will happen in December. I believe it's going to be December 13th.
You know, I always liked that too over the years, because most people say, "I'm from Boston," but he nailed his town. You know,
Yeah,
I want to be, you know,
West Newbury.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I remember years ago here in it was a football game, and they said, "Oh, you know, coming from Boston," and the guy next to him in the booth said, "No, we're in Foxborough."
Mm.
You know what I mean? The one guy called it, you know, when the ball went ball, no, we're in Foxborough. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just like, it's always been Foxborough.
Yes.
You know?
Because that's
Well,
what a lot of the broadcasters say today, you know.
Right.
Halfway between Providence and Boston. That's basically
no,
what
but
they say.
no, yeah, but I mean, no, it's Foxborough.
It's Foxborough.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, I like the idea of that, because that's the town where you know, they got to put up with the problems too, so they should be on the map as far as, you know, mentioning their town, you know, because that's where it is. I mean, it's not Boston, it's not south of Boston, it's in Foxborough. So just tell me Foxborough. I hate people that just like, just kind of, I don't hate them, but if I'm turning 58 tomorrow or 59,
Yeah.
I'm still 58 today. If you ask me a question, how old am I? And I say 59, I'm 58.
Yeah,
Just
you don't be wrong. Yes.
Don't be wrong.
Don't be wrong.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Exactly. Don't be wrong.
Yeah, it's probably petty of me, but
Anyway.
just give me the right information. That's all I ask.
Born this day in 1951, Danny Joe Brown, American Southern rock singer, songwriter, and musician. He died in 2005.
Yeah.
And a lot of these Southern rock guys are now dead. They're now
Yeah,
gone.
that guy was awesome. Molly Hatchet.
Molly Hatchet.
Molly Hatchet. He had that voice.
Yeah.
I remember growing up with that, and I remember the songs that came out around that time. "Flirting with Disaster."
Yes, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
And they do a cover of. I think they did a couple of Allman Brothers covers too, which are long. You know what I mean?
All right, this one I gotta get into more detail about because he's one of the best baseball players of all time. Cal Ripken Jr., born on this day in 1960. He is 65 today. Nicknamed the Iron Man. Former baseball shortstop and third baseman. He played his entire 21-year career in the major leagues for the Orioles, right from 1981 to 2001. One of his positions most productive offensive players. Cal Ripken compiled 3,184 hits, 431 home runs, and 1,695 runs batted in during his career. And he won 2 Gold Gloves for his defense. Let me just read his stats because it's insane. 19-time All-Star. So he was an All-Star every single year of his career except for 1 year.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's a good job. That's an attaboy right there. What do you think?
Yes. World Series champion in 1983 with the Orioles. 2-time AL MVP. AL Rookie of the Year. 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. 8 times Silver Slugger Award. He got the Roberto Clemente Award in 1992. He holds the record for most consecutive games played, which was 2,632. He is in the Hall of Fame for the Orioles, of course. His number is retired. Obviously, his number is retired. So that's a huge thing there. He is obviously a member of the Hall of Fame. He was inducted in 2007, nearly unanimously there. So, just a big deal there. Cal Ripken Jr., 65 today. And then our last birthday for today, Lady Amelia Windsor. Now, a little bit about her. She's part of the royal family. She is in the line of succession. Don, you want to know where she is? Take a guess where she is in the line of succession. What number she is?
For what? Section for what?
For being the monarch of England.
Who?
Lady Amelia Windsor.
Now what? Where is she?
44th in
Okay.
the line of succession. 44th.
There's somebody in the line of succession as far as the executive branch,
Yes.
meaning somebody. I mean,
Yes.
it's funny too because I'm going back to sci-fi again. I'm back on the sci-fi wagon. The reboot of Battlestar Galactica, when the whole place got destroyed. Anyone seen the original Battlestar Galactica? Anyone knows about that?
Mm-hmm.
The reboot with James almost there.
Yes.
Okay, which was awesome. The last person left in the cabinet was the Secretary of Education. It was that character, and she became the president. So it was weird how they went to the succession. Who was left after everyone and everything was destroyed? There was one person left. So that's how it is. And I think they still do it when they do the State of the Union. There's somebody missing from the cabinet. Meaning, if God forbid anything happened to everybody, there's still someone left. Because that's the only time everyone really gets together. Think about it.
All right, our passings for today. Richard Attenborough passed away on this day of 2014. He is the brother of David Attenborough, who is still alive. I believe he's 99 years old. So,
Oh, that's good.
there you go.
Good for you.
2021, Charlie Watts passed away.
Yeah.
An English musician before their own
The
film.
last album he did was that blues album, right?
Yes, it was that blues album. It was a really good album. You
Was
should check
that
it out.
22?
What year was that?
22?
No, it was a couple years before that. Even that.
20? What did you got? How long was it? 2 years ago, you said?
It's now 4 years ago.
Oh, so, 20, so it's probably 2020.
Yeah, 2021 when it was when he passed.
I think
it was 2021.
that album came out and he passed like
not too long after that.
yeah, it wasn't too
Yeah.
far after that.
Yeah. Passed away on this day in 2023. Quite unexpectedly. Bray Wyatt, American wrestler, passed away on this day in 2023. He had a heart-related issue with that. He passed away. There is a group in WWE called the Wyatt Family, and there's only 2 original members left of that particular WWE stable. Bray Wyatt, who was the leader of that stable, has passed away, and also Luke Harper was a part of that stable as well. He passed away a couple of years ago as well. So that is your today in history's birthdays and passings. Let's take our first commercial break and we'll be right back, and then we'll do our news break.
Oh, no, that came out Blue and Lonesome.
Blue and Lonesome, I think that was 2016, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I was about to say. I thought that was a couple of years before.
Then Yankee Diamonds, the last one to come out.
Hackney Diamonds, yes. That was a couple years.
And then they didn't put one out. Shit, they didn't put one out until 2005. Big Bang. 97, Bridges of Babylon. Blue Launch came out in 94. Steel Wheels came out in 89. Dirty Work, 86.
People don't like that album. Dirty Work.
Yeah, Tattoo You, really good album, 81. Emotional Rescue, 80. Some Girls, 78. That was like a disco album almost. You know? It was good. Black and Blue, 76. It's Only Rock and Roll, 74. Goat's Head Soup, 73. Exile on Main Street, 72. Sticky Fingers, 71.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Michael Harrington. President Trump designed Chicago as the next city to launch his anti-crime plans. White House correspondent Greg Clugston has more.
After ordering a federal takeover of the Washington, D.C. Police Department and deploying National Guard troops to the streets here in the nation's capital, the president says Chicago could be his next target.
And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be done.
The president claimed that people in Chicago are screaming for us to come. After that, he says he'll try and help.
Sun is directly in my eyes.
The White House.
I'm not having a fun day right now because the sun is directly in my eyes.
I want to take Grandpa to Texas Roadhouse. You want to go? Get some steak.
If he ends up going, yes.
Fewer and fewer Americans are
I might take a nap when I get home, but I'm not sure.
Citizens
Well,
occurring in battleground states, the bluest states.
I'll take, and I'll bring home something.
Times says Democrats
If I don't go, bring home something for me, but what do I want? I have to look at the menu first.
Elections in 30 states.
I have to look at the menu first. Let me look at the menu first before I say it.
Why do you just go? Why are you so tuck it out? Why are you a little, what are you, a 5-year-old? What's going on?
Ken Norman reporting.
Huh?
It's a long day between now and 12 o'clock. So.
I don't know nothing about that, Joe. Nothing.
I know you.
I know.
It's not like you work about 10 hours, ripping down roofs and shit.
No, I don't know anything about that. Just little baby needs to sleep, you know? I
Many high-tech products, including electric vehicles.
Gotta get your night tuck in, right?
Hopefully the coffee.
All important elements. More on these stories at townhall.
I'll bring you back another coffee. You want me to? Or
Great memories. Boy, I love getting out.
You're just the one coffee guy.
I try to limit myself to one coffee.
Yeah, no,
Right
yeah.
around on Tampa Bay. But if you're living with pain, those future memories could be stolen.
It's like I can't go by those places. It's like a toll booth every time I go by there. You know, in the restaurant we go down, yeah, we all meet on Monday. That's like the $100 toll booth. It's always got,
Yes.
somebody's usually buying and someone's paying over $100. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is.
What's weird, the more expensive it is, the better.
No, it ain't.
Well, not all the time, but not all the time,
You buy
but
a beer,
not all the time, but
they just mark them up.
not all the time, but in some cases.
I was asking the bartender, yeah, right? It's always been a buck a beer. You know what I mean? I tell you, if you just, if you're having a beer, you just foam it all. But now we're asking that the bartender, you think vodka beer is fair? She goes, oh, you really want to answer the question. Well, she say some beers are $10. So it's the same bottle, it's the same beer, it's the same actions. Why would $1 suffice if I paid $4 for a beer or I paid $20 for a beer? Why should I pay more if I'm paying? Obviously, they're all about percentage, and I don't believe that. You know what I
The
mean?
bus carrying junior.
You look at those tip sharing registers, they should say like
21 of the 28 people on board.
1, 3, and 5. Give them that, or custom. If you feel like you want to give them a custom, I'm giving a custom, and make it easy so you know how to do it. I tried to do that at a laundromat, and I gave it wrong. I gave her 30 cents. You know what I mean? And I said, I'm sorry, and she didn't know how to use it.
News and
Yeah. 1 minute.
A new investigation reveals the risk of railroads policing their own bridges.
The Howard Center for Investigative Journalism at Arizona State University found railroads can withhold bridge inspection results from the public, unlike highway bridges, which are inspected by government agencies that
Because
publish
the public-
findings online. Railroad
don't
bridges
go
are
over it.
inspected by railroads
Right,
themselves. That means there is no public access to inspections and minimal
The
federal
air traffic
oversight.
over it.
This secrecy has contributed to missed warning signs, delayed repairs, and bridge collapse. John Scott reporting.
Garrett Gallegos homered and pitched 5 innings to help Nevada beat Connecticut 8-2 in their Little League World Series semifinal yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, this is the last game, right?
Yeah, no, it's Nevada versus
Nevada's first title, and Taiwan was going for its first since
Taiwan.
1996.
Nevada versus Taiwan.
In Williamsport? Oh, they're still playing. Another week of playing?
Yeah, well, we got the championship. We got the championship now. It's
Hey.
Nevada. It's Las Vegas versus Taiwan.
Oh, tell everyone. I love it. I think that's picking up steam.
It's a shame that Connecticut didn't win.
Yeah, shame Braintree didn't win.
Well,
They were out a week ago, weren't they?
yeah, they were. They're good, but there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams that are probably more stacked than Braintree.
Yeah, well, it's pretty impressive. If
But it's
Braintree-
still impressive that they made it.
It's really impressive that they did the bus ride.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. You got the stats for that?
I don't, but I think so. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're back here, and as you heard on the news there, on the Salem Radio News just a minute ago, we're down to 2 teams: Las Vegas in Nevada. It says Nevada on the thing, but the team is actually Las Vegas. And Taiwan are the final 2 teams left in the Little League World Series. They will play the championship game, and I don't know what the championship game is. I gotta look that up real quick. Don, your thoughts on the Little League World Series this year? What do you think?
Oh, I love it. I think it's this whole Little League is really picking up steam in the last 3 or 4 years. I think more people are prone to it. They really like it. They're drawn to it. They like the idea of these kids playing. I mean, we went to that minor league game. That was a lot of fun, but I think the best games would be the Little League games. The high school football games are the most exciting games that I like. Because it's it's raw. It's there's not a lot of money being corporate. I mean, I know even the Little League was corporate behind it to run everything, but it's not it's not all hijacked by all the corporate and stuff like that. It's more just baseball. I was talking to somebody I knew, and his son did some baseball games down in Cooperstown a couple weeks ago. So they were. Remember, we went to the hotel the first day, and what town was that? We can't say it. We don't want to say it on the air because it's weird.
We can't say it on the air.
Yeah, but we'll say it wrong, and then we'll get.
We're gonna say we'll end up saying it wrong, and we'll get in trouble.
And then you get.
It's in New York.
And then you got a call from Mark.
Exactly.
Right?
It's in New York.
So yeah, but we were talking to some people at the lobby for breakfast, and these people were coming from Long Island, and they were going up to Cooperstown.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they have baseball games too, and that's up its own leagues and stuff like that. And the person I know said his son did pretty good. I mean, he said he cleaned out, won a lot of games. Anybody who's there a week, so parents stay at Cooperstown and they play games. And that's not too far from Binghamton, where we saw the Rumble Ponies.
Yeah, and you were talking about Johnstown, Pennsylvania as well? Well, Johnstown, Pennsylvania won the Little League Softball World Series this year.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, they beat Floyd's Knobs in Indiana, I believe the team is. But the baseball one, let's check that out real quick. That game will be today. and that will start at 3 p.m.
Is this the last game today,
Well-
or they got a series?
This is the last game, but they do also have another game. There's a consolation game as well.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. But
Yeah.
Las Vegas, Nevada will take on Taipei, Chinese Taipei. And that's coming up at 3 p.m. and that will be on ABC if you want to check that out this afternoon. And if you want to watch the consolation game, that will be on ESPN this morning at 10 a.m. That will be Fairfield, Connecticut, taking on Santa Cruz, Aruba. So that's going to be a big one as well. Fairfield making it to the Final Four. Fairfield did a great job this year as well. So good job to all the teams involved, and let's see what happens in this championship game. Speaking of, while we're on the topic of sports, we are getting towards the regular season in the NFL. The Patriots had their final preseason game on Thursday. That did not go well. We started quarterback Ben Woolrich. He proceeded to be terrible, and he is no longer on the team. Yeah. He was one of the first cuts. He was one of the first cuts as the team is now cutting players.
Is that the one and only time he played?
I think he played a couple times this preseason, but
It was 3 games. It was 3 games, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that last preseason game was.
It's sad. It's kind of sad because people, try to get to that point, and then they say, "Yes, see you later, kid."
He was not good at all.
It's tough. It's a tough business. It's a cutthroat business as far as
So Patriots are getting ready to face the Raiders here in Week 1 coming up.
When's
that
Week 1?
will be on Sunday, September the 7th.
So that's in 2 weeks.
Yep, 1 p.m. on CBS or the Sports Hub. You can watch, you can listen to it on the radio on the Sports Hub as well. Patriots versus Raiders. But they're cutting down players right now to get to your 53-man roster. I think every team starts with 90 players in the preseason.
Yeah.
You got to cut those players down to 53 before the regular season begins. And the deadline to do that is Tuesday. So they got to cut a couple of more players here prior to Tuesday, and then that's the team.
Yeah.
That'll be what the team is. One more thing about the football thing, and then we'll move on to the sports.
And I want to mention one more thing about the baseball before we move on.
Yes, one more thing here, but let's quickly break down college football real quick. We have the beginning of the season yesterday. Yesterday, Iowa State and Kansas State traveled to the Emerald Isle yesterday. At a game yesterday, Iowa State defeated Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland, in the Aer Lingus College Football Classic, 24-21. Very good game there. Other finals yesterday, UNLV defeated Idaho State 38-31. Fresno State were defeated by Kansas 31-7. Sam Houston were defeated by Western Kentucky 41-24. And Hawaii edged out a very good victory, a very impressive victory over Stanford 23-20. The next games are going to be on Thursday as well. We're kind of getting into the season now. Looking at the schedule here, there's a lot of teams here. Texas versus Ohio State. That'll be the game everyone will be watching this week, I'm sure. That'll be Saturday at noon on Fox. Number 1 Texas versus number 3 Ohio State. Something I'll be watching is to see if Purdue is going to do any better than they were last year. They'll start the season off on Saturday against Ball State. Boston College begins their season with Bill O'Brien as their coach. Bill O'Brien, of course, was part of the Patriots on their offensive line. Offensive line. and he is now the head coach of the BC Eagles. The BC Eagles will begin their season against Fordham on Saturday, 2 p.m. start there on ESPN+. West Virginia, Morgantown, great stadium, by the way. Me and Don.
It's a college town. It's a lot of fun.
Great stadium. Yes, well, it'll be packed, I'm sure, on Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. when West Virginia, the Mountaineers, they take on Robert Morris. UConn gets their season underway. They have an in-state rivalry against Central Connecticut. Some other games as well. Penn State, State College. This game in State College? Let's see here. Where does it tell me where the games are? Yes, it will be in State College. They'll take on Nevada. Penn State will. Alabama will begin their season against the Seminoles, the Florida State Seminoles. 3:30 p.m. start on Saturday. Alabama starts the season off and ranked 8th. Air Force gets their season underway against Bucknell. Temple gets their season underway against UMass. Holy Cross will take on Northern Illinois. Maine will take on Liberty. That'll be a tough one for Maine. Liberty was really good last year. Some of the other local teams, let's see. Some of the other local teams. So many teams, so many games to get through here. Yeah, there you go. That's FBS right there. FCS also had some games as well, and those were Tarleton State in Texas, 42-0 against Portland State. North Carolina Central defeated Southern. UC Davis and Mercer got about 90% through the game done.
Yeah.
And then lightning happened, delayed the game for about 3 or 4 hours, and then the game was called a no contest. After being 90% completed, done, it was called a no contest.
Can they play it again? No.
No.
Yeah. That doesn't sound
That's ridiculous.
Fair. What was the score?
It was a 7-point game. It was a 7-point. I believe Mercer had the lead at the time. It was a 7-point game.
What were the officials thinking about? I mean, that's kind of.
They just. I guess they ran out of time. It was getting late. It was like 12:30. And
Play it.
They're running out of time.
Didn't one baseball game in the history of the Red Sox play at 4 a.m. or something like that?
The Providence. Not Providence.
I'm sure if you studied and you looked, you'd find some crazy stuff.
Sure. I'm sure.
I mean, most people trying to go to bed at 10:30 when the game's over, and they have to stay up, and then it goes into OT, and then it's just it's going up. Yeah, I think you've talked about that before. And if you go, I'm sure there is. I'm sure games, Yeah. Now they just pull the plug,
Then they just pull the plug.
20 years ago, I think they just played them until There'd be 10 people left in the stadium because everyone had to go home, and the teams are still at it.
They still should have played it.
But I mean, but the thing is, when it comes to championship games, who decides who pulls it? That's what I'm saying. Maybe a regular game. But
Lots of people. That's the problem. There's too many hands that decide what these games do.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well,
FCS here real quick. Campbell, Rhode Island. Rhode Island starts their season, and that will be on Friday. They'll take on Campbell. I was looking at Stonehill. Let's see, where is that at?
Stonehill College in Easton.
Yes. Merrimack, they take on Kent State at noon on Saturday.
Kent State, Ohio, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Where is Stonehill? There's a lot of games here. I apologize. There's a lot of games here.
What Well, you can't read them all. We don't have 3 hours.
No, I'm just trying to look for Stonehill, and there's a lot of games here to try to look for, and I can't find it. Well, they got a game at some point pretty soon, and so does Mass Maritime. By the way, I want to check out Mass Maritime real quick.
Yeah.
Try to be as quick as humanly possible with Mass Maritime.
Well, he's looking. One other thing about the World Series, Little League World Series,
go ahead.
that what the town of Williamsport, Pennsylvania, is like buzzing now, because Joey's been interested in this, and we go to Pennsylvania every year, so we drive through that town. But it's really become a beehive of activity with this World Series. It's getting more popular and more popular and more popular. And I'm glad, because that's it's out central Pennsylvania, and that really helps the economy. Anything that'll boost the economy of any town where people are making money, that the restaurants are making money, hotels are getting filled up, vice versa from everything. That all the places that are getting filled up need maintenance from people who live there. So I mean, it's good that people go there, and it seems like they're spending more time. I like the idea of spending time in the United States. I mean, I'm not knocking going to Europe or whatever. It's great, but I like the idea that it seems like a lot of people are just, discovering these old towns. Or they say, well, let's go to Williamsport. There's no reason to go to Williamsport unless you go to a game, but that's the attraction. But then you'll discover a couple of other teams. There's a town called Jersey Shore up next to Williamsport.
In Pennsylvania, yes.
Okay? I don't know how I got that name. I think Joey looked it up, but just all these different towns. Johnstown, Pennsylvania, for instance, has a funicular. A funicular is like, they have two in Pittsburgh. They're like passenger cable cars that run up mountains.
Yep.
And Pittsburgh has two of them, and then there's passenger one. But the one in Johnstown is you can put your vehicle on it. It's like a ferry, it's like a ferry that takes your vehicle up the mountain. I called, we wanted to stop there, but they're rehabbing it, and they said they gotta probably have it open by maybe the end of this year. But I mean, we go back, we're gonna put our vehicle right on it, and the funicular is gonna bring us right up to the top of the mountain. There's nothing like it in the world, I don't think.
All right, I found what we got going on here for Mass Maritime. In a game named for a food my grandfather likes quite a lot, Chowder Bowl, the Chowder Bowl. The Mass Maritime football team, they'll take on SUNY Maritime. That is New York.
Okay.
Maritime school there, SUNY Maritime. The Chowder Bowl, and that will be September the 5th. That's a Friday, 7 p.m. start, and that'll be at home. So they will be playing. Mass Maritime is in
Buzzards Bay.
Buzzards Bay. Thank you.
Thank
you, Don. All right, so that is your sports there for today.
Well, that's a good preview, because everything's like popping out of the box. The
sports
is all popping out. The football guys are popping out.
It's going to start getting crazy pretty soon.
And people are excited. People love baseball. They love everything else, but something about football.
Yes. There's so much sports going on right now, and it's just going to get crazy here in September, October, November.
Beautiful weather. The weather's nice.
You got baseball playoffs coming up. You have WNBA, the playoffs coming up there.
Yep.
You have the start of the NFL, college football, NBA, and NHL seasons. AHL as well. You got the MILB playoffs as well for baseball. You got the start of high school football. You got the high school fall sports all together.
Yeah.
Then that's a lot as well. So it's a lot.
All the high school, they're probably out there. They've probably been training a week now. I always remember seeing them driving by. It'll be the most hottest August, and they're out there. And I always felt bad for them, but I mean that's just part of it. And we've had COVID on before, a friend of ours, and he played for Brockton. And I asked him, did it 4 years, and he's like, oh, whatever, he said, it's only for a couple of weeks, you know what I mean? And then when you're done, it gets cooler, and it's not as bad. But usually 2 weeks, in the last 2 weeks of August is when the high school football players are all training.
Yeah. So, Don, tell us your story about your experience there with Hurricane Katrina. While I get my my thing up here, talk a little bit about it here to end the show today.
Well, 2005, right?
Yes.
I don't know the dates when that came in. You said it was this weekend?
It was formed 20 years ago yesterday, that the hurricane formed.
Okay, yeah. Well, we had a road trip planned with our family, you, your mother, my mother, and myself. We drove from Massachusetts to Florida, and we took like a coastal route. We took Cape Hatteras, Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. Pretty much, we had this crazy route planned, and we get down there and we find out that the fuel, you couldn't really get gas down in Florida. It was kind of scary because on US 19 on the west side is the main road from like St. Petersburg all the way up to Weeki Wachee. It's like 80, 90 miles, and my family lives on that side. And the gas stations on 19 had it, but you go a block or two east into the interior, even 2 or 3 miles east of where 19 was, you couldn't get gas. And we didn't know if we'd get out of it. We got to rent a car, and I got to get back home. And we got gas. I got to look at like 6 gas stations to fill up before I left because obviously the refineries went down in Louisiana, in that area, in Mississippi. So, they were just working off stockpiles they had. And I was afraid that when we left that we wouldn't be able to get gas up through Georgia and the Carolinas. I had I had a Pontiac Grand Am rental car, which was good. I could probably get 300, 400 miles on the tank. I knew that, so I did that deck. I could get 400 maybe comfortably before panic and that kind of thing. So I just stopped, like every hour or two we stopped and just topped off, kept topping off because I didn't know what the next thing would bring. But nothing materialized from it. By the time I got up to Virginia, there was no problem. It was just Florida that we had the problem with the gas.
So the Hurricane Katrina, that was a powerful and devastating historic tropical cyclone that caused 1,392 deaths, fatalities, and damages estimated at $125 billion in late August 2005, particularly in the city of New Orleans and its surrounding area. That hurricane changed the blueprint of New Orleans when that hit. That was a terrible storm for New Orleans. It affected everything from the city, the storm walls that were, I guess I
levees.
The levees there.
Levees.
Totally destroyed, flooding.
I think
everywhere.
it was like a perfect storm when
It was
the pumps were all dying, and it was just bad. It was just like it was a perfect storm,
and the perfect storm even reached even further.
It overwhelmed. Yeah.
Because the government. We can talk about the government response.
Well,
we want, but the government response was great.
Well, I don't know. My opinion is this: a state has to hold its own until the feds get there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to mobilize all these. It takes time. It's just you can't snap your fingers and have them.
No. But
beat me in, Scotty. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
So
definitely, it was something. It was something to look at.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But it's something to look at. Local.
But it was also a devastating.
It was overwhelming.
It was a devastating hurricane as well. So we got to remember that.
It was overwhelming. The city police were almost out of commission. State police. They still got the whole other. They still got the state of Louisiana to deal with too, right?
Absolutely. And this hurricane even affected Amtrak as well.
Yeah,
in the state.
Yeah, it took out there used to be a route called the Sunset Limited,
yeah.
And that's gone. That is.
That was, and then that affected Amtrak in the state of Louisiana for 20 years up until this past week.
There was talk, and I watched a lot of documentaries on that Katrina approach, and
Yes.
the people who were really, anybody who was working in rescue law enforcement, they're heroes in my opinion.
Yes.
But a lot of organizations got discombobulated. It's just like whole precincts of police stations, like maybe the New Orleans police got, they were almost non-existent. It was the game wardens, the fish and wildlife people.
Yeah.
Came in with their boats, and they did a lot. And then the Coast Guard, and the U.S. Coast Guard, and the fishing game, Louisiana Fishing Game, did a lot because they had all those boats. They had all those, they all had those fan boats, and they came in and they did a lot of rescuing because they were more effective than maybe the town police or even the state police.
So believe it or not, this is tied with Hurricane Harvey as being the costliest tropical cyclone in the Atlantic Basin. I mean, Harvey was devastating as well. That happened 2017. That was a devastating hurricane for where it hit. And this is tied with that.
Well, it was the flooding. It was the pumps all died.
Exactly.
All the pump systems got overwhelmed. One thing led to another. The levees are all older. I mean, that wasn't supposed to happen.
And also, believe it or not, this was the third major hurricane in 2005 as well.
Yeah.
2005 was a terrible year.
I know Houston got hit hard.
Yeah,
That same year.
and even 2004, the year before that,
Yeah.
was bad as well.
Yeah.
It was bad as well. Fourth most intense Atlantic hurricane to make landfall in the continuous United States, gauged by barometric pressure. Again, formed 20 years ago yesterday, and made its first landfall in Florida 20 years ago tomorrow. Highest winds 175 miles per hour, lowest pressure 902 millibars. That is insane. Damage again $125 billion, and that is adjusted for inflation. That is $201 billion. That is actually more than Harvey. Harvey 160 billion adjusted for today's inflation.
Well,
They are tied.
was that the damage? Because I-10 was cut off. I-10 was cut off. I-10 goes right through New Orleans. That was cut off. It was like a 150-mile detour around all that. So anybody running anything from the East Coast to the South, from Florida, Georgia, all to California, or they had to go 150 or 200 miles around it.
And then even after the storm, the economic damage that it caused.
Yeah.
We mentioned Amtrak. That affected Amtrak in Louisiana for 20 years up until this past weekend when the new Mardi Gras service was.
But that only goes to Biloxi, right?
Yes, it doesn't
make Jack
fully. Yeah, it doesn't fully reopen everything.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think they will. But they have to still do some work.
Well, that was
the tracks.
That's a true coast. That was the only true coast to coast rail, because you don't have a true coast to coast because everything stops in Chicago, and then you go. So that was a 1-seat ride from Jacksonville, Florida to L.A.
Yeah.
That was the only one that I knew of because you have to get off a train in Chicago. So that was the last true coast to coast train, 1-seat ride.
All right, 8:02. We're gonna say goodbye, and we'll be back next week. The final Sunday in August 31st, day before Labor Day as well, and we'll talk to you then. I'll be back. Well, Dawn and I will talk to you then. I alone will talk to you tomorrow for another edition of Middleboro Matters. Until then,
at 11.
At 11 a.m. Thank you.
Yeah.
Until then, have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.
Boy, we could talk up a storm on those day today in histories, huh? Good show.
Yeah.
Gonna try to get somebody in for next week or what?
Try to.
You want to reach out to your friend there?
Who?
You know.
Ezekiel?
No, the other one.
Eric?
No, the other one. You want to run for
Breaking
mayor?
news this hour from
yeah.
townhall.com.
All right.
I'm Mike
That'd be cool.
Okay.
President Trump designs Chicago as the next
Yeah.
After ordering a federal takeover of the Washington
All
DC
right.
Police Department and deploying National Guard troops to the streets here in the nation's capital, the
right.
president says Chicago could be his next target.
I think that's it. All right. Thank
Thank
you, everyone, for watching today. I'll be back again
For us to come.
next Sunday for another edition of Middleboro Review. It'll be the final day in August, day before Labor Day, and that's just crazy to think it's almost Labor Day. But yeah, I'll be back next week. I hope everyone enjoyed today's program. We'll have great topics, maybe even a guest. I'm not sure yet, but I'll keep everyone informed on that throughout the week. All right, and bye bye, everybody.
Elections in 30 states, along with